So during this video we will go through the market analysis. So where do you find information for this? How do you do your research in an effective manner? And how do you improve your search strategy? So the market analysis. What you want to do is you want to research solutions or partial solutions that are already on the market and that your product might be competing against. So what is the state of the art? Then when you have found the state of the art, identify the difference between what your user needs and what are the available solutions. Look for what works well, what do you need to copy, and what can you improve upon the product. Also, a special tip is to look at other industries. They might have similar problems and they might have addressed it in a different way, and you can find a lot of really good inspiration this way. So doing the market analysis, you want to do it effectively. So you can get your information from several sources. The obvious source is the internet. Everybody likes to Google on the internet. You can look for homepages, you can look for journals, you can look for books on the internet. Do not underestimate the value of books, okay? Somebody spent a lot of time putting a lot of quality information without redundancy into a book. Next thing to look into are patents. Patents show you what is protected, what you can't do in your company. But it can also be a great source of inspiration. If you go, for example, cross-industry, that might be enough of a change that the patent no longer applies. And fourth, look into standards and directives. So what rules does your product need to follow? Now, looking at internet research, the growth of knowledge versus the time you spend is actually logarithmic. So if you have time here and you have the gained information here, in the beginning you will gain a lot of information with little time spent. But as you spend more and more time, you will need to spend even more time to get just a little more information. It will kind of flatten out at a certain point, and then when it starts to flatten out, the time investment to get just a little bit of information will be too high, and that's where you need to stop slightly before that. Okay, so when you are Googling the internet, there are some tools that a lot of students don't know about that you can use to improve the quality of your searches. Okay, so first thing I would like to teach you is how to exclude words. So if you are Googling for some particular thing and the wrong kind of pages keep coming up, find a keyword that these wrong pages have in common, write it in your search bar and write a minus in front. Then Google will exclude results that include that word. Okay. Other things you can do are use Boolean operators. You can actually, with capital letters, write this and this. That means that Google needs to find searches that include both words, not just either of them. If you want specifically to say it can be either of these words, you put an or in capital letters in between the words. Now, sometimes you want to keep your sentences together, or maybe have 2 or 3 words that need to be written exactly as you write them and in that order that you write them. In that case, you put apostrophes surrounding that sentence that you want to keep together. Use also words that websites use and not the words you would use. Finally, a tip: keep it simple at the beginning and then gradually add more search terms. So now you're Googling the internet for this topic you're researching, and you need to find out the keywords that you want to search for. So start Googling what you already know, and then write down any keywords that you learn during your research that you want to use later. So the goal is to find all sources relevant to read. You need to be effective here, okay? So what you do is you just skim very quickly to evaluate the quality and the relevance of the source you found. If it seems like an okay source, copy the link, put it into some tool and read it later. One tool you could use to organize your sources together with your group is Mendeley, which is free to use. Here you can set stars on good articles, you can say when you have read it, stuff like that. It gives a lot of opportunities to make your research more effective. So when you have a long list of sources to read, divide the sources between the group members. And then when each of you have written their sources, present a summary to each other